recognized. Welcome.
Thank you, Chairman and Administrator. Honestly, you're hard not to like. I just don't like the agency you work for. I think.
I think that's a compliment.
I think it is a compliment.
That's as close as a compliment you're going to get from this
For
guy.
me, it's probably the best you're going to get. But I mean that sincerely, because I get the EPA's role, but it seems like the EPA just constantly looks back at old laws that were passed through the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, and continue to rewrite them. And you continue to go after agents or industry over and over and over again, and not understanding actually the ad cost or what it does to downstream. Now, you say you take the economic impact, and you do take that into consideration, but you don't, because we continue to see the ad. I mean, what Senator Ricketts was just asking about the vehicles, I did some quick research on it. I'll let him talk a little bit more about it. But the ad that is costing, you talk about trying to have, better fuel efficiency, but yet the rule that you guys put on diesel trucks, which I drive every day, by making us put diesel exhaust fluid into it, it runs our gas mileage down and actually is worse for the environment. I mean, you see this stuff and it spills, it crystallizes all over the floor. You can remove it from a truck, which is illegal. I understand that. But you can take it off of a truck and you'll increase your gas mileage by 20, 30, and sometimes 50%. But you guys don't take that into consideration, but you still continue to push that. And now we have our, the farm industry, which I'm a rancher. We have a cow-calf operation. And, we see protein price going through the roof, and it continues to climb. And we have a hard time finding enough markets to go to right now. We have the meat packers that are pretty consolidated right now, as we see the poultry consolidating faster for processing plants. We see the pork industry very consolidated, and yet now the EPA is coming out with new guidelines for ELG. And by your own admittance, you said that this is going to cause some plants to close. Is that good for the industry? Because on the other hand, you said you want to have, you guys have talked about wanting to have a more resilient meat and poultry and protein supply chain. How is this new proposed rule that you guys are running towards on your options for ELG, how's this positive for the cattle market? How's this positive for consumer when you see protein already spiking at higher prices than we have ever seen in the history of the United States? How is this positive for the consumer? How is this a positive move for the EPA to be making this move right now?
Well, I'll tell you that, number one, I hear you loud and clear, and we're listening to our farmers and our ranchers as we look at—
Are you, though?
Well, we haven't finalized the rule, and we've taken a look at what we're seeing in terms of these discharges and trying to eliminate some of the negative environmental impacts from these discharges. But as we look at the economic—
But hasn't industry did a tremendous job on already changing a lot of their discharge? I mean, they have gone a long ways in where they were at 50 years ago to where they're at today, and yet it's still not even kind of good enough. So are you really listening to them?
Well, I will tell you, you make a very good point. And when we look at these standards, we do have people, the majority of the people in the industry are performing, are doing well. So we're trying to create that level playing field to bring some of those who are not taking those additional investments to
So,
reduce
Administrator,
that
then why wouldn't you just work with those individuals by themselves rather than making a new rule and affecting the entire industry? Because this is going to affect the entire industry, and this is going to add a tremendous amount of cost to every dinner plate and every breakfast plate and every sandwich served. I mean, already seeing prices because of minimum wage increase in California, where a hamburger at McDonald's is almost not going to be affordable. In 2013, people was laughing when I said, if we continue down this path, before long, you're going to be paying $20 for a hamburger at McDonald's. Is it so funny now? Because we're dang near there. And so this is going to add cost, sir, and you know it. This is going to add a tremendous amount of cost to protein when you could just work with a few of those bad apples rather than changing the entire industry on how they're discharging right now.
Well, the industry is moving forward and updating. So by law, we have to update our standards that match with where industry is going. And so in order to—
No, they're meeting your standards today, and you're moving the goalpost again.
Some of them, many of them are exceeding
Great.
standards.
Well, great. Let them exceed. But why are you moving the goalpost? Why do you see the need to move the goalpost? Because you know, there's no way you can deny this. This is going to add cost to protein. Yes?
We have to update—
No. Is it or is it not?
We haven't finalized it, so I don't know.
You know it's going to.
I don't know the
Is it going to
answer to
cost
that.
the poultry and the meat industry? Is it going to cost them to upgrade and spend a tremendous millions of dollars?
When we
The
have to-
answer to that is yes.
We have to look at the benefits too. There are a lot of people who are benefiting from the industry actually moving forward and doing better.
Who is this benefiting from it?
Communities benefit from it.
The
When you look at the
communities,
water
you
contamination.
mean these same communities that's going to lose jobs when these industries shut down, these plants?
We have to balance that.
These same industry, these same communities that you're saying are going to benefit, are these same industries just going to lose maybe the largest employer in their community because they can't afford to make the changes?
We're
So
talking about
I'm trying to
public
figure out
health
where you're saying
benefits.
communities are going to benefit.
We're talking
from
about the people that live in these communities that we recognize do work in these facilities, but they're also drinking the water, they're breathing the air. We're trying to balance those public health benefits with the jobs and the economics. And many in the industry, as you have pointed out, are doing it the right way.
What
We have
about
to make
people
sure
that
they
can't
have
Hold,
the right-
wait. Your time has expired. There's going to be a
Can
second
I have
round.
can I have another
You're gonna-
minute, just
you're
like
gonna
you gave
yeah,
Mr.
you're going to have
Kelly?
another round.
Well, you gave.
Go ahead. No,
Okay,
go ahead.
thank
Take
you.
him in.
Let me just ask this too. How do you explain this to the people right now that are struggling to put protein on the plates for their kids as they speak or their families as they speak now, knowing that this is going to add cost? You know this is going to add the industry is predicting this could add 15 to 20% cost to protein. So how can you say this is a positive move for the country?
What I would tell them is we have a farming and ranching federal advisory committee and a new agricultural office that is advising me specifically on the impacts, the technologies available, and what this means to their community.
And none of them are raising cattle like we do in Oklahoma. None of your advisories are actually doing that. They're professionals that work in colleges and universities that have a tremendous amount of theory, but they've never got crap on their boots before.
I think I will challenge you on that and provide the details. We do have those who are farming and ranching on the federal advisory committee.
Okay. And you're willing to stay if you're willing to